Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the presentation about biodiversity by a student of Standard 7.
Assalamualaikum everyone, I am Marcia Mohamed and today I am going to discuss about biodiversity. So we already know that the Earth is the only planet in the solar system that has life. But what is the reason behind it? The main reason is that the Earth is the only planet that has oxygen in the atmosphere and a lot of water. In this Earth, there are an immense variety of organisms from tiny microorganisms to giant blue whales. The word biodiversity is used to describe this immense variety of organisms found among microorganisms, plants and animals. Now, scientists estimate that there are about 87 lakh species of organisms in the whole universe, in the whole world. But as there is some debate about this, so most scientists agree that this number falls somewhere between 50 lakh and 1 crore. Up until 2021, scientists have only discovered 21 lakh species, so there are more species to discover. But they have said that insects are the most abundant among them. Now let us know about the biological causes of the origin of biodiversity. So the unique features of an organism evolve over generation for thousands of years. The ways and techniques used by an organism to adapt in its environment is called adaptation. For example, fishes live underwater and polar bears can live in cold regions. They can live there because they use their own techniques and methods to survive in their own environment. Now let us go back to the generation differences. We know that the parents and children do not look the same. Even siblings have different faces. This appearance difference between parents and children occur due to the gap of generations. After millions of years, when the small changes of generation keep happening, there come a time when a new organism is created. Then that new organism have characteristics that are very different from its real ancestors, and it can reproduce with its ancestors anymore, and that is why these are considered as different species. On the other hand, the organisms that can reproduce with each other and create offspring are considered as one species. Now let us know about the nature of biodiversity. An animal has its own unique traits that help it to adapt in its own environment. But the animals that do not have any specific traits to adapt in a suitable environment eventually vanish from that area. Now, there might be some doubt that why fishes can live underwater. So fishes must have the ability to hold their breath for a long time or breathe underwater. For this reason, they can survive there. Again, in order to survive in a dense forest, an animal must have to possess the skills used to survive in that area. In this way, the plants and animals of an area is adapted according to the characteristics of that particular area. Now let us know about the interrelationship between organisms. We all know what an ecosystem is. When a group of organisms adapt to a specific environment and continue to survive and reproduce in that area, it creates a system with the non-living things of that area. This system is called ecosystem. So another name of ecosystem is biome, and there are 5 types of biomes in the world based on their characteristics. They are aquatic, forest, grassland, desert and tundra. Now let us go back to the interrelationship of organisms. So the ecosystem maintains in balance based on the interdependence of living and non-living elements. For example, the ecosystem only remains balanced when these elements are present in the normal quantities. When certain species of organisms become extinct, it poses great threat to the balance of the ecosystem. Again, a sudden rise in the population of an organism also hampers the balance of ecosystem. For example, when we see a snake, we often get scared and want to kill it. But snakes play an important role in an ecosystem. So we all know that snakes eat rodents like rats. So if we kill snakes, the number of rats increases and it hampers our crops. Again, we all know that there is some kind of relationship between the living and non-living elements. When a living thing dies, then it becomes food for another living thing or mixes with the soil, providing nutrition for the plants. In this way, the ecosystem maintains in balance based on the interdependence of living and non-living elements. Now let us know about the ways to measure biodiversity. So in order to measure biodiversity, firstly we have to know about two things. They are the different species of organisms in an area and a number of organisms in each species of an area. If we can know these two things, then we can measure the biodiversity. Scientists have said that it is it is easier to measure large organisms, but when it comes to smaller organisms like microorganisms, it is challenging. It is also challenging to measure biodiversities in remote and inaccessible areas like the deep sea. But according to the estimation, they said that warm regions near the equator line and the riverine areas have higher biodiversity. On the other hand, dry and rough areas like the desert have lower biodiversity. For example, the Amazon forest is one of the most biodiverse region in this world. It has a lot of vegetation which provides a lot of oxygen, maintaining the balance of the Earth's entire atmosphere. That is why the Amazon forest is called the lungs of the Earth. As we've already said before, there are some genetic differences, but why does this occur? This is because of the cell gene. The part of the cell that contains all the characteristics of an organism is called a gene. The gene is located in the nucleus of our cell, and it stores all the characteristics of an organism. For this reason, these are the characteristics that makes a rose and a dog. But among the same organisms, there are some differences in their genes. For this reason, some roses are pink and some roses are red. Again, these genetic differences in humans cause some people to have black eyes and some people to have blue eyes. Scientists use this genetic diversity to measure biodiversity. So that's all for today. Thank you.
Big hand, please. Excellent.